Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Insta360 X4. This is the latest 360 camera from Insta360, and it has a lot of improvements that are going to change the way you record and the quality of what you record, especially if you are into 360 videos. Now, if you're not into 360 videos and you're trying to figure out why would you consider a camera like this is going to be great for those of you who just want to capture any moment in your life and not have to worry about where your camera is pointing. That's what these 360 cameras are about. If you watch our bike videos and you see the follow along shots that I have in these videos, they're done on an Insta360 camera. And I've owned every Insta360 camera since the first generation. So I'm really excited to have with me the X4 because it just upgrades the quality of the videos we shoot. So let's take a look at the specs, and then I'll share with you some footage that we've taken, and you'll see why this is definitely a camera, not just for a creator, but if you want to capture a vacation, above water, underwater, any kind of event in your life, this is going to be a great solution. Oh, and by the way, if you are a realtor, this is a great solution for capturing real estate photos of all those properties you have. Let's go to check it out. Now, the Insta360 X4 is packed with features, and the specs for these cameras continue to improve year after year. This version, the X4, basically is capable of recording, get this, very small package, 8K 30 frames per second, 360 cinematic video, and also it has 5.7K 60 frames per second. Not only that, but depending again on the configuration, because you can change the settings based on your needs, you could do 4K at 100 frames per second, again, 360 video. Now, it also has various modes because it's not just about capturing everything around you, but let's face it, sometimes it's about capturing you and you in the moment. It basically has this me mode, right, that is going to capture at 120 frames per second, and it also has slow motion capabilities. Plus, it has this me mode, and this me mode is going to... Now, capturing video is not just about everything that's around you, but it's also about capturing you. And it also has this feature called Me Mode, which by simply holding the stick out, it is going to be able to capture you and everything that you're talking about if you want to do a vlog type video. And this is going to be great also if you're going on vacation, not just again for professional videos for YouTube, but creating content for Instagram, TikTok, or again, just capturing the moments that you're in without having to worry about where you are in the frame. And that's what the whole solution about the Insta360 camera lineup is about. Shoot first and frame later is the way they put it, because you could literally change the angle of the actual camera after you take the video. It also has these invisible selfie stick features that give you third-party or a third-party person view almost. So for example, we have several of the sticks right here from Insta360 that you can see. Here's one of them. And basically, as you have the stick in front of you, aside of you, and I have even have it behind me where I'm just holding the stick like this, the stick disappears and it looks like someone's following you, either from the back, from the side, or from in front of you. It's like having, again, your own camera person no matter where you are. That really changes the way you experience, again, and record video. Now, the other cool thing about all these different dynamic shots that you can get is that the X4 also has AI gesture control and voice controls. And this is important because let's face it, when you're going to be using this camera, if you're going to want to take advantage of all those different long shots, right? Even I've seen some of my friends who use this camera, they simulate drone shots, not even having a drone, just with a selfie stick. And they're using a very large selfie stick like this. And I say very large, but they're compact. These are easy to travel with on vacation. So this is, for example, the extended edition. This is the extended edition selfie stick. This is a very long one that gives you the feel like you're taking a video from a drone perspective. Well, imagine if you have the camera pretty far away from you, having gestures, having voice controls becomes really important because you're not going pressing a button like you would on a traditional camera. It also has FlowState Stabilization and Horizon Lock. And these features basically mean that shaky hands are a thing of the past. I'm telling you guys, I use this while riding a bike or a scooter, and the camera, I would say, fluidity, the actual shots are super duper smooth. I even go on grass, on terrain, and it's still super smooth. And I don't really have to worry about how my camera's facing because I also have horizon lock, which means that it always is locked like this. So I'm able to do what I want to do, capture my video, and not have to worry about the position of the camera. Now, this camera also features this removable lens guard solution. It's a rugged design, which is going to make it super durable. One thing I will highlight that the lens guard, while it's great for protecting the lenses, it does, in my opinion, diminish slightly the video quality. So if you want to have the best video quality, I would recommend against wearing the actual lens guard. But the change in the video quality probably is going to only be perceived by someone like me, someone who's really looking for it. But if you're, let's say, for example, on vacation and you want to protect those lenses, go ahead and use the guards. I highly recommend it. You'll just see a slight degrade in quality. Now, the bottom line is when you look at this type of camera, you're getting two cameras in one. And it really changes the way you think about shooting photos or videos. Matter of fact, you don't have to think at all. Now, because it has these camera modes, you can actually use a single lens mode and get 4K 60 frames per second. You can then also have a 5.7, 120 frames per second bullet time and 11K time lapses. So if you're watching a sunset, imagine taking this camera, putting it out there, and then just letting the time lapse take that for you at 11K. Now, with all these capabilities and all these features, battery life is really important. So this upgraded version can basically run 67% longer. That is pretty incredible compared to the previous version. It has a massive 2290 milliamp hour battery. That's 2,290 milliamp hour battery, which is going to give you a 135-minute runtime. This is small. One of the things I do is when I'm using this battery, I have in my backpack, I'll carry an extra battery, like a battery pack. And what I'll do is at times I would charge my device just by connecting it to it if I'm shooting a lot. It's waterproof as well, 33 feet. So you can actually take this underwater. So if you're on vacation in Hawaii or vacation in the US, wherever you're going to be, and you want to take this underwater, you can do it as long as it stays within that limitation. And then there is also the fact that while I prefer to edit on my PC or my Mac, you can actually do all your editing, get this, guys, with your phone. You can edit with your phone. Also, not just manually, but you can edit via AI, where it will create short snippets of the video that you're taking. It's pretty cool, and it makes it really easy. And let's face it, most of us, when we're on vacation, sometimes it takes long to take the videos and turn them into something that you can share. With the Insta360, it does it in a snap. You can share your content, share your experiences, and then if you want to do some really advanced editing, you could do it on your phone, but I recommend you do it on your desktop so you can get the best quality there. Now, before we take a look at all the accessories we have and the camera, I just want to highlight Insta360 did send us this camera for review. I have purchased all my other ones in the past, so I'm really excited to be able to have this one and share this with you. They have not seen this video. They have not opined on the video. All my comments and my experience are based on how I've experienced these products in the past and how I am experiencing the Insta360 now. Now, we have lots of accessories to talk about. First of all, we do have a lens cap, and I have to tell you, this is one of my, not a accessory, but this is a must-have product. This is going to protect your camera from any kind of damage, especially if you're keeping it in your bag. For me, it's really important that I have this, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up really quick, because if I am traveling on vacation and I have my camera with me, one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to put it in my pocket, literally, like if I have cargo pants. If I have a backpack, I just want to throw it in there and not have to worry about the lens getting scratched. That's the most important part of this camera. This lens cap, this lens guard is key. Now, the lens cap is a pretty straightforward product. So literally all it does is, you can see here, it's a silicone protector that you'll put on top of your camera, which you're going to see in a second. And it's going to protect the lens from being scratched. Critical, as I mentioned. And what I like about this is that I put this on my camera, I can put it in my pocket. And actually, even some of the selfie sticks, the standard one, fits in my cargo pants. I can have it in my cargo pants and not have to worry about it. But this is a must-have. So if you're considering an accessory and you're limited on a budget, make sure you get one of these. Now, the next accessory we're going to take a look at is the Action Invisible Selfie Stick. And this is a, I keep on saying must-have, but this I would say is also a must-have. Look how short this is. And I'm just going to bring it in front so you can see it. So here's my arm. and it is from my elbow to my wrist, right? So you notice how small this is. This I can carry in my cargo pants. So it's going to peek out a little bit, but I can carry with me. This will fit in a backpack. And this is what's going to give you that 360 invisible camera person, right? So you notice how this comes out. And I'm going to go ahead and do one of these so you can see how it looks right here. Okay, so if we're thinking about how tall it is now, it's from my belly button to the top of my head. And this is super lightweight too. It's like a carbon fiber type material, so it's not something that's going to put a lot of stress. And when you're using the actual Insta360 camera, you're just going to have it put it out in front of you. So I'm going to do it like this so you can see right here. Or I do this sometimes too. I put the camera behind me and I'm just walking, and it's like if I had a camera person following me. I could do this thing too on the side, and then it's basically going to be like if someone's following me on the side. It's like literally having a camera person with you all around. Now this super compact, as I mentioned, and it does have some quarter threads here, and then also on the top. So the camera goes here, and then you could actually put some feet here and then just use it as a tripod, or a monopod in this case, and then mount your camera on top of it. I've done that as well when we've been on vacation. Now this next version is deceiving. Let me just show you something. So this is the extended selfie stick. This is the standard one. Take a look at this. They're not that much bigger from each other in the collapse, I would say, state. But when you stretch this guy out, let me show you this. This is long. You're going to see this. This is crazy. Comes out, continues to come out, continues to come out. Oh my God. This is how long it is. And I'm telling you, this is pretty incredible. The fact that they have something this lightweight, and again, super compact, you just got to watch out because this thing gets really long. This is what you would use if you want to do like a drone setting. I've done this. Nilda is a realtor, and I have sat in front of her properties or stood in front of her properties and literally just taken the camera and done one of these things, and it looks like you have a drone. So if you're asking yourself, how far will this extend? Well, it goes from 14 inches all the way up to almost 10 feet. That's actually 9.8 feet to be precise, just in this. So if you think about this, this is also something that you can put in a backpack. Really easy to travel with in holidays or vacations. And again, these two just changes things completely. You're not adding a lot of weight to your backpack, but this is an option for sure. Now, this next accessory fits my lifestyle because we not only review bikes, but when we go on vacation, we tend to ride bikes as well. And this is a bike mount. So this bike mount is going to allow you, and check it out right here, basically it's going to allow you to clamp your Insta360 camera, in this case the X4, to different parts of your bike. And let me go ahead and bring this on camera so you can see this right here. So as you can see it, here it is. So this is the mount, right? And this is actually an improved mount. I had the previous generation, so I was really excited to get this one because this is going to help me so much when I do my videos. And you'll notice here that you have a really super duper clamp right here. It has silicone or some rubberized material that's going to make sure it doesn't mark your bike or get damaged. And then over here, what you have is the ability to adjust this, and this is really nice and fluid, really soft. I like the way this feels, and you'll be able to have different angles. You'll notice here that you have this thread right here that allows you to put your camera here. But I just want to show you something, and this is something that I do a lot, right? So this guy and this guy, this is probably a little bit more reasonable to do. I can actually thread this guy right here like this and connect this to my bike, right? Or if I am on holiday, on vacation, I can put this on a bike or scooter if I want to record our ride. And now all of a sudden you can see I have this clamp combined with this invisible selfie stick, and I can mount my camera, right, on this. And basically this is the experience I'm going to have. And this will be invisible. You won't be able to see this. You'll be able to record your experience, right? You could do that. If you want to go big, really big, right? I'm going to take this guy off, put this all the way down. Now we're going to grab this big boy here, and you'll notice this guy also has threads. Now, this is pushing it. This is really pushing it, right? But guess what? You can push it if you want. Now all of a sudden, take a look at this. This is massive. Yeah. I can extend this out, and I can have a drone-like experience and this will be invisible as well on my bike. And when I say bike, this isn't limiting just to bikes as far as, pedaling bikes. This is electric bikes. This could be a motorcycle as well. However, with something this long, I'd be really careful with this, right? As how far you want to extend it, because it could go back pretty far. And I would not probably do something that is just straight. I'd put it in an angle so that you can get that nice view. Very, very flexible solution. And again, has this little area right here that you can use to tighten, right? And loosen things, right? So you're not turning things around. And I'd say they all complement each other, the way all these things go together. It does have some additional accessories here that you can use. And, they're going to be clamps. They're going to be ways to mount your camera. Just a lot of different accessories here that go side by side. So if you were to think about what are your must-have accessories, I'd say this is my number one must-have, and this one right here. And then these, depending on what you want to record or what your lifestyle is going to be, then you could add these other ones to it. For me, because I do a lot of bikes and we ride a lot of bikes on holiday and vacation, then I definitely think that these are important as well. Now in the box, you do have some really nice accessories, a USB-C cable, a protective shield, as well as some other things that you're going to see on the camera. I'm just going to put this over to the side and we'll go over that really quickly. So the camera is a little bit heavier than its predecessor, I'll say that. So you notice I have my little cloth here for my lenses, and I did install the lens guard on these because I was riding this on my bike, and I wanted to make sure that in case I bumped into a tree or bumped into anything else, that I didn't ruin the camera. So that is one optional piece that I would highlight. The other thing that I did is I went ahead and I did purchase a screen protector. Right, and so there's a screen protector on this, and you can see this right here, how I have it connected. And that's just me as well. Optional stuff, but things that I did nonetheless. It does come with this protective cover, right, that you would basically have in place there. And then what you would have is, and I'm going to open some of these compartments so you can see what's going on here. Here you have your USB-C connector, right? Over here you have your battery. So I'm going to open this up, and here you have your battery, and it pops out really nicely. There's your battery. And inside of your battery area, you do have your memory card, which we have installed there. And then this just basically goes into place right there, and it locks in. And you'll notice that as soon as this goes into place, it locks in really nicely, giving you that seal. Because remember, this is IP rated, so you can run this underwater, as we mentioned. Now, I have a quick release clamp that I picked up for mine because I use this on my bike. And then on this side over here, you do have your power button, right? And I have the lenses installed. So these lenses you can twist to put into place. And I always carry, something like this with me because I like to make sure that my lenses are nice and clean, so I can wipe it off just like this. Or what I would do is if I am on my bike, I'm not carrying this guy right here. I'm carrying the lens guard. Now, for those of you curious about how the lens guard goes, this is basically how it works. You just slap this on like this, and then this becomes a very pocketable solution. And you'll notice that it does work with the lens guard that I have on top of it. So you can get rid of the lens guard if you like, and then this will be protective. But this, again, becomes something I can just slap in my pocket. And again, it's half the size of a phone, the thickness of a rugged phone, but this is easy to pocket and just carry with you, and you don't have to worry about it. And think about this. If you're on a vacation and you're actually getting wet and you have this in your swimming trunks, because it's water resistant, you don't have to worry about it too. 33 feet, right? So you can carry this with you as long as all of these different ports are locked and closed. Now, a couple things that you're going to see, and we're going to go ahead and power this up by pressing this button. You do have here a power button, and then you have a quick select button. So you can choose the various modes. As soon as you basically turn it on, you're going to be greeted by a very bright screen. So right now, the white balance is just knocking out my camera. But what we'll do is we will go into this so you can see what's going on. If I remove this lens guard, what you're going to see is immediately it's going to be able to pick things up. So we're going to go ahead and remove this really quick. And then here you can see that it has my overhead camera. It sees me, and it also sees everything else. Now, I use Insta360 cameras for every single video that I do that has to do with outdoor scooter reviews, bike reviews, or any kind of mobility device that I may have. And The desktop solution, again, is free and it's incredibly powerful. I just want to show you some of the things that we have going on, and I'll show you how I use it. So first of all, you do have this FlowState Stabilization with direction lock if you like to use. You'll see what I do here typically. Also, you have, if you have any kind of lens guards on, I have the standard lens guards on because, guess what? I'm on a scooter and I want to protect the lenses in case they drop. You could choose any of the other options that you have there. You can also choose, for example, if there's some dynamic stitching that needs to take place, optical flow stitching. Again, all these options are available to you. The ones that I'm using right now are only optical flow and also the chromatic calibration. Don't have to do any kind of stitching calibration because, for the most part, I'm really happy with the way things look. Here you have some image processing options, so you can change exposure and do a lot of things I rarely do. Over here you have your logo if you want to use any of the logos that you see here or add a custom one. Now this I use with every single bike or scooter video that I review. I want to be able to show the speed of the scooter and have it reflected as I'm riding. So there's a couple options here. Literally all I have is this connected to my phone. I have the waist strap with the actual Insta360 invisible stick. And I can choose if I want to see the elevation. I can choose if I want to see, the map situation. I can choose to see if I want to get, total distance, if I want to have a slope, if there's a route, those kind of things. Right now, just looking at speed. I then also have different type of templates, right? So I can have a basic template, and you'll see that there's a couple templates here that I can choose. I can choose this one right here, which is basic. I can choose this one right here, which is another style. So if I choose something like that, I'm fine to do that if I'd like. And then here you can actually do even further customization, right? We won't go through each one of these options, but I would encourage you to play with the application and you'll be able to see that. So we'll go back, and again, you can choose whichever one of these that you'd like. This is kind of like a cool one, the third style, but I'm going to stick with this one right here. You also notice that I need to change this from kilometers to miles per hour, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you notice that it changes. Perfect. Go back here, see what I have selected. Yep. And now what I'm going to do is leave everything else as is. I do have the ability to do some management of the clips, in my content. Not going to worry there. Here's again the file that I have loaded, and I literally have my Insta X4 connected to my Mac, and I'm just pulling the information from there. So now the next thing I'll do, and this is the cool thing about having an Insta360 type solution versus a traditional camera. It looks like someone is riding right next to me and filming me on this scooter. And that is so far from the truth. I'm by myself, but I have all this that I can see. So literally, I have a stick, the Insta360 invisible stick coming here from outside of my from my waistband, coming out like all the way up to here, and that's everything that it's capturing. So the next thing what I'll do is I will come over here, and because I'm going to want to do this from the very beginning or closer to the beginning, I'll mark myself, and then I'll have the system track me. Now, there's a couple things I did as well, right? So if I go in here, you'll notice that you can actually play with several settings. You can have a crystal ball. You can have a tiny planet view. And you can do this in between. I can switch between each one of these modes if I want. Wide or ultra wide in this case. And then de-warping. The other thing that you can do is you can actually adjust things right here. Now you can also adjust distortion by just coming here and then just adjusting the distortion. For whatever reason, if it feels like it's a little bit too distorted, you can go ahead and just move it to the back like I'm doing right here to get the kind of view that you want. You do have other point of view controls that you can modify. Each one of these I just encourage you to play with, but you'll notice you have de-warping, ultra wide, mega view, tiny planet, and then crystal ball. Right? Each one of these are going to be preferences of yours based on the type of video that you're creating. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select myself. And you notice that it's identifying a couple objects. I want it to select me. And what it's going to do is it's going to continue to keep me in view throughout this entire video from beginning to end. So it's going to go ahead and run through. And this really allows me to frame myself in the video. And this is pretty much how I use the application. The power of this is that all I have to worry about is having the camera on. All I have to worry about is having it further away from my body so that I'm sure that it captures everything. And I don't have to have someone following me in a car or on another scooter with a camera, because Insta360, the X4, does it for me. Now, Insta360 has completed tracking me throughout the entire experience of this video. And it's around 13-minute video. So what you're seeing now is I'm in the center, and I will remain in the center of this video throughout the entire 13 minutes because it's actually reframed myself into that specific position. I think that that's pretty amazing. And this, for me, is essential for the recordings and the reviews that I do. Now, the other thing that's really important for me, and you can see how well this is doing, is that it's tracking my speed. I actually, in this video, I'm talking about how fast the scooter is going, and you can see I'm going 30 miles an hour on this scooter. That's no joke. This is pretty crazy. Actually, a little bit faster than that, and then I get a little chicken, and then I slow down a little bit because it was going way too fast. But again, the practicality of this camera and how it's able to capture me as if someone was following me is pretty incredible. And then also the fact that I'm able to maintain this position right in the center is also something that I really love. So a lot going on here. And you could do other things. You can use time shift capabilities. There's also motion. I can actually change the position if I wanted on this camera. Like, for example, I can move it to the front. I can move it to the back. I can choose different views, and simply all you have to do to change the views is, depending on where you are in the recording, like, so let's say if I'm right here and I want to change the position, I just have to add another keyframe, and with every keyframe the video position changes, almost like if someone was following you. So for example, if I wanted to get a front facing view, all I do is add a keyframe, change the position, and the camera's going to pan automatically as if there was someone following me, and just panning in front and then panning back. Now, to start the export, all you have to do is hit on the Start Export button. This is where you're able to choose your resolution. I'm going to go with the highest possible resolution because I want my video to look spectacular. You can choose to have the export the reframe video or export the 360. I want the reframe so it looks just like I have it here. I'll do my export, and then what you'll see here is on the side, this little cog will start to turn. You see how the little yellow area right there is kind of starting to grow, indicating that the application, or in this case, the video, is being exported. Once it's complete, this will be rotated completely. And then the same functionality that you have with Mac, right? Basically, you're going to be able to open the folder, you're going to be able to see the video, and then you'd be able to use it either in Final Cut or any other application that you'll be using to edit videos if that's what you choose, or share it, because that's something you may want to do too. And one other thing I wanted to show you about this camera is that you can actually set it up so that it's like having 10 cameras, not just one. And that's just because you can reframe things. And again, reframing is pointing the camera in different directions after it's been recorded. So let's take a look at this area right here. Now, you're going to notice a couple things. I'm going to come into this timeline. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm hitting these zoom in buttons. Each one of these dots in the timeline represent a shift in the actual camera position. So what you're literally doing is just moving the video and positioning it like I did right here. Let's say, for example, this is where I want the video to start. And then all you do is you hit that plus. Now, when you do that, you can choose to have different modes, right? Let's say, for example, I wanted to start out at a tiny planet mode, right? So now if I hit play, watch what's going to happen. It's going to be tiny planet, and then it's going to come into that view right there. Now, what I could do is, as I'm going through this timeline, I can change the position. So I'm going to come over here, and now what I want to do is I want to have a front forwarding position. Now notice this. So now think about this. This is like having a second camera. Now all of a sudden, this is a front view camera. Keep in mind, it's only one camera. So now I have my front view, and let's say I want to add another view here. I want to come back to myself. So I'm going to add another point here. So I'm going to turn the camera around the video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in right there. Like, let's say, for example, that's the position I want to have. All I'll do now is I'll hit plus, right? And I could choose to have crystal ball. I can choose to have tiny planet. I can choose to have a mega view. I can choose either of these. I could do kind of like an ultra wide if I want. So I can do this. I can do this. I can do that if I'd like. And then, I could even adjust a little bit more. So let's say I want to go with this. We'll do an ultra wide, but I'm going to kind of focus on myself right there. So now what's going to happen is this, right? So we're going to go from this position, which is forward. Watch what's going to happen as I'm playing. And what you see here is exactly how it's going to play. See how the camera's like turning over, like literally if I had a camera person there, and now it's focused in that area, and it's going to be in this area until I change it to another position. So all I have to do is throughout this entire video is change or where I want the camera to be pointing as I've recorded it, and then I'll get those views. Watch here what I did. I just wanted to focus on my feet so I could show how wide the bed is, and you can see that right there. And then you'll notice as I'm going over here, I'm changing the position because I'm showing the bouncing, right? You can see the shadow of the selfie stick right here. And now it's come back. Super duper seamless. This is really what we're talking about when it comes to, this camera and the abilities that it has. There's other things that you could do, obviously, as we were talking about this time shift, you can accelerate things, but I'm doing a scooter review here, and I'm trying to give the overall experience of what the review would look like of riding the scooter. And the key areas that I'm focused on is ride and speed, because a lot of people who watch my videos are really focused on that. But this gives you another sense of the power, right? We're talking about, this is a camera crew the size of, let's say, a cell phone. It's even smaller than a cell phone. So a camera crew in your pocket. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.